It's about 3:20, approaching 3:20 p.m. on April 1st, 2016. Calvin Caston at Olympic Stadium, and the Expo player in the middle of your screen is actually the mayor, Denis Coderre, the mayor of Montreal, and in about 10 minutes he and several others will be having a press conference. It's an announcement from Baseball Canada in the presence of Dickson from Baseball Canada, Denis Coderre, Montreal mayor, and Stephen Brooks, senior vice president of the Blue Jays. We were hoping to get here for a 2:45 press conference, but we spent an hour and 10 minutes at the Champlain border crossing. A young fellow named Carrier was manning the gates when we got to the inspection station at the Canadian Customs, and other lines were moving, but his wasn't. The lines were long, and his was moving extremely slow, and it took us an hour and 10 minutes to come through the Champlain border crossing. So we're a little bit late for that press conference that happened a little over half an hour ago. Looks like some of the media are getting a jump on what's going to be talked about very shortly. We're going to go inside, and we are here because Toronto is once again hosting a preseason duo of games. This year the opponents are the Boston Red Sox. So there'll be a whole lot of Red Sox fans from northern New England and from northern New York State. They'll be here in a 2-day preseason baseball, spring training baseball. Over 100,000 tickets have been sold. So they've done this for the past 2 seasons, and every year it just seems to be getting better and better. And of course, when you bring in the Red Sox, you're bringing a lot of interest from the people on the New York and Vermont side of the border. Last year it was the Reds, and the year before that it was the New York Mets. So we're going to go inside and pick up on that press conference. Don't go away.
Juste avant de commencer, vous dire que la conférence de David Dombrowski sera ici à 16h30. C'est bon? Alors, bienvenue. Premièrement, mon nom est Marc Griffin. Je suis aussi un ancien de l'équipe nationale, très longtemps. Alors, ça me fait plaisir de représenter Baseball Canada à cette conférence de presse qui vous invite, qui vous présente officiellement la campagne Un été parfait. So what is Summer's Perfect Game? Let's take a look at this video and find out.
Baseball is Summer's perfect game because of everything that baseball is. You get the grass, you get the dirt.
I'd wait for the snow to melt, rigs close, and get out on the field right away.
It's one of those games that you grow up playing as a kid. It's like the Sandlot. You get to just pick up a ball and a bat, go play with your buddies, and just enjoying the outdoors.
The sun's just come up, freshly cut grass, warming up. All you hear is the baseballs hitting with gloves in the background.
You get all your family and friends out, come out to the game, warm weather, whether you're in Mosquito, Pee Wee, on the national team or a pro.
You're battling 9 innings just to win a championship or lose a game, and you're having the greatest time of your life on the field, and that's when you escape from life, is when you're on the field.
La première fois que j'ai frappé une balle, c'est quelque chose que j'oublierai jamais, juste la sensation de frapper une balle sur la partie parfaite du bâton, sur le sweet spot comme on dit. Depuis ce temps-là, c'est juste ça que je veux faire, frapper des balles sur le sweet spot.
Baseball taught me how to be a good teammate, how to be responsible, and how to take chances.
Not in time.
C'est comme une histoire qui se racontait au baseball. Il y a des moments qui sont tellement intenses, puis c'est pour ça que c'est un sport que j'aime tant.
Some life lessons I learned through baseball is be humble. Don't take anything for granted. Always be mature about what you're doing. Just work your hardest and have fun.
I think throughout my career, one of the things I'm proudest of and I like to carry on is the perseverance. And I think that sports teach that.
You know, always strive to be better and never be scared to fail. Baseball, le baseball,
It's summer's perfect game.
c'est le sport de l'été.
Alors, le baseball au Canada et ses 10 provinces membres, c'est quoi? C'est 121 000 joueurs au pays, c'est 8 500 équipes, 11 000 arbitres, 35 000 entraîneurs, 58 associations à travers le pays offrant le programme Challenger. Ça, c'est pour les enfants avec des limitations physiques et cognitives. Et 11 000 filles qui jouent au baseball maintenant au Canada. Baseball is alive and well in our country, and we can look no further than last year for proof that baseball fever swept across our country and put our sport back into the conversation for many Canadians. For the first time ever, women's baseball was played at the Pan Am Games in Toronto, and our national team came away with a silver medal. And who can't forget Pete Orr sliding safely into home plate as our men national team captured back-to-back Pan Am Games gold medals on home soil in July. Over 700 Canadians played college baseball in 2015, and over 90 Canadians appeared in affiliate minor league baseball. Finalement, la performance des Blue Jays aussi de Toronto lors de la saison 2015 et lors des séries d'après-saison a ramené le baseball à l'avant-plan. Que ce soit dans les restaurants, les bars, les familles, les maisons, les partisans se sont rassemblés afin de suivre les prouesses des joueurs canadiens, dont entre autres Russell Martin. The passion and interest level for baseball in Canada rose to new heights in 2015, reaffirming that baseball truly is summer's perfect game. Nous avons avec nous des personnalités ici à l'avant. Tout d'abord, Jason de Dickson. Jason. Jason was the 1997 American League All-Star, a 2004 Canadian Olympian, and current Vice President of Baseball Canada. Jason, you were born in London. You grew up in New Brunswick, and as a kid, what made you fall in love with this game?
I think you know some of the things that Russ talked about. It's the sounds and it's the smell and just the excitement of you know getting through a longer winter. I think for us Canadians that we get out onto the field and you know I fell in love with the game at an early age. You know with your best friends. You know, playing in the yards, playing in the streets, and I think it's, you know, baseball's been a big part of my whole life, and fortunate enough to play, you know, with our national teams, and fortunate enough to make, you know, a career out of it, and, you know, I get excited when you make a trip back here, and you know, I'm retired now, but just a trip to the Big O for the first time was really exciting for me, and it's a great game.
You've been with Baseball Canada since 2010. You've seen the game grow, the Challenger program. What's the difference in the last few years that baseball has been so popular?
Well, I think the big thing for us is you really see the excitement around baseball. The numbers are growing. You know, we're becoming diverse. The women's program is growing and doing well. The Challenger program is another avenue that we have, and it's really, you know, a lot of people working hard to really promote the game of baseball. I think that, you know, people are really understanding, you know, how much fun the game is, and that there is more than hockey. And you know, we're really excited to see the numbers grow, and you know, it is summer's perfect game, and we're definitely seeing it.
Well, thank you very much, Jason. Our next guest is the Senior Vice President of Business Operation with the Toronto Blue Jays since 2011, Mr. Stephen Brooks. Stephen, the Jays do a tremendous job supporting amateur baseball across the country. What is so important for your organization to show that support?
Well, we've been very, first of all, thank you, Mr. Mayor, for having us here. It's a tremendous honor to be back in this great city again with the tremendous support from the fans here in Montreal. It's absolutely phenomenal. Baseball Canada has been a tremendous partner of ours for a number of years now. We, you know, as Canada's only major league team, we you know, it's our responsibility to do what we can to promote the health of the game, and there's been no better partner than Baseball Canada to do that. From appointments from coast to coast in every province to Tournament 12, where we've tried to highlight some of the elite talent in this game and get them exposure to professional scouts or at college programs, camping here in Canada or in the U.S. Baseball Canada has been a tremendous partner in that regard. So we certainly feel that it's our responsibility, and we continue to partner with Baseball Canada to grow that initiative coast to coast.
Thank you very much. Et également avec nous le maire Coderre. Monsieur Coderre, bienvenue. Bon, une troisième année de suite, le stade devrait être plein pour ce week-end de baseball. On sait qu'un des objectifs aussi de Baseball Canada, du baseball amateur, c'est cette campagne, elle a été parfaite. Qu'est-ce que vous allez faire? Qu'est-ce que vous faites déjà? Quelle est l'implication de la Ville de Montréal?
Merci beaucoup, Marc. Steven, Jason, je veux aussi vous présenter Jim Bass, qui est notre responsable au niveau du comité exécutif en matière de sport et de diversité sociale. To say hi also to my buddy Russell. Mesdames et messieurs, dear friends, bonjour à tous. C'est le moment de l'année où on parle beaucoup de baseball. Comme dirait mon ami Roger, il va y avoir de l'ambiance dans le stade en fin de semaine. C'est un guichet fermé. 106,000 fans will come for the love of baseball, and we will show that Montreal is a baseball town also. And I think it's important. 3 years in a row, 300,000 people showed up. I'd like to thank the Blue Jays. Thank you very, very much. It all started also with those exhibition games, with that kind of relationship that we developed between our two cities. Tomorrow, John Tory, my colleague and a friend, the mayor of Toronto, will come to Montreal. We will announce a twin city agreement, and we will have a baseball clause. So don't go away tomorrow. We'll be right back. Chers amis, nous avons à démontrer notre amour du baseball. Nous avons à démontrer que Montréal est aussi une ville de baseball, mais c'est un bottom-up issue. Il faut travailler au niveau de la base. So we are delighted to be fully part of the Summer Olympic game. But to do that, we need to show that we're for real in baseball. And obviously, Montreal is really, really proud to be associated with this promotional campaign. I commend the work they have accomplished to stage this campaign, which promises to be a great success. My thanks go out to you, Jason, and your entire team. J'aimerais vous annoncer cependant aujourd'hui quelque chose de très spécifique au niveau du baseball. Nous avons mis sur pied le plan d'action Baseball Montréal 2015-2025, qui se veut un outil de planification qui va nous permettre de développer une vision à long terme du baseball dans la métropole. J'annonce un investissement de 32,1 millions de dollars pour notre plan d'action. Ce plan d'action a été préparé en collaboration avec les arrondissements montréalais, près d'une trentaine de partenaires du milieu de baseball, dont Baseball Québec, l'Association des sports de balle de Montréal, l'Académie de baseball du Canada et 14 associations locales du baseball mineur. Ce plan d'action comporte 3 volets: le développement de la pratique du baseball, l'offre d'infrastructures et la promotion du baseball par l'accueil d'événements. Il comprend une vingtaine d'actions concrètes que nous entendons réaliser au cours des 10 prochaines années afin d'encourager la pratique du baseball. Des exemples: lancer un projet pilote de terrain de baseball synthétique, favoriser la clientèle jeunesse, développer un guide d'entretien des terrains ou accueillir des compétitions d'envergure. Nous estimons que le développement du baseball à Montréal va passer, entre autres choses, par la création de nouvelles équipes, la formation de nouveaux entraîneurs et officiels, la promotion du sport et une offre de terrain adéquate. The program, just for 2015, we're investing $7.1 million, and in several boroughs we are investing in. And we are focusing also to have a synthetic baseball field in St. Leonard. By 2016 and 2017, we're adding another $11 million to put at level all those baseball fields. Because if you want to bring back the passion, you need the capacity to play. So that's exactly what we're doing. Mais ce que je vais annoncer également, c'est que nous allons instaurer des pôles sportifs régionaux en sport de balle, où on va retrouver 2 terrains aux normes internationales pour un investissement additionnel de 15 millions de dollars. Donc, vous voyez le build-up. On est rendu aussi, on pourra accueillir le championnat du monde de baseball des 18 ans et moins. Donc, on travaille en ce sens. So, we just wanted to show you that we're for real, that the love of baseball, the fact that we have a full-packed stadium, is not just based on nostalgia, it's based on DNA. But if we want to bring back the field of dreams, well, we need to make sure that we are investing, and the City of Montreal is doing exactly that. I'm thankful for Jim and his leadership. I'm thankful for the event from Baseball Canada or the Blue Jays against the Red Sox for sending a strong message that Montreal is a place to be for baseball. We will play our role Canadian-wide too. We can't wait to, and we have already some Quebecers who are playing in Baseball Canada. And we just wanted to use that opportunity today to show you that it's a bottom-up issue and that from the grassroots to the top, we will be ready. So our plan starting now. Merci beaucoup.
On va prendre le jeune Baseball Canada. On a des questions? Oui?
Monsieur le maire, ici au mois de mars, est-ce qu'il peut avoir du baseball? Et le mois de mars l'année prochaine, il y a la classique mondiale de baseball. Est-ce que Montréal est intéressé à recevoir des matchs de la classique mondiale de baseball?
J'ai été approché en ce sens. Alors moi, je crois qu'on doit très certainement analyser les événements internationaux. Je sais aussi que je vais vous annoncer qu'on a, comme président de Métropolis, qui est l'organisation internationale de l'ensemble des villes de plus d'1 million d'habitants, on a beaucoup de jumelages. Et Montréal et Mexico City va être une des villes jumelées et il va y avoir une chose de baseball également, ce qui fait en sorte qu'on pourrait peut-être même organiser une Coupe des Nations entre plusieurs villes, que ce soit Cuba, que ce soit Mexico, que ce soit d'autres pays d'Amérique du Sud ou d'Europe, de venir jouer à Montréal. Mais pour ça, on a besoin de terrain d'envergure. Et l'événement pour les 18 ans et moins pourrait être une chose qu'on va envisager. Donc, on va analyser. Mais il est important d'envoyer qu'on allait bâtir une infrastructure en conséquence pour pouvoir le faire.
Est-ce que la classique mondiale de l'année prochaine?
Ça nous intéresse. Je sais qu'il y a beaucoup de gens qui veulent nous donner un coup de main. Vous comprendrez qu'aujourd'hui, on est en phase d'analyse. On va voir si on est capable de recevoir maintenant. Ça ne sert à rien de vous dire oui, si le terrain n'est pas prêt. C'est plus tard, c'est pas plus tard. Mais Montréal va pouvoir accueillir des événements d'envergure.
Oui, it's good, Jason. I just wondered, do you have a target number of people playing ball that you want to reach by a certain year? Or you got 111 or whatever thousand now. Do you want to get like 200,000, or do you have a goal like that?
I think for us, we haven't set a specific number that we're looking to reach. I mean, I think it's hard to say where that number is going to go. I know we've seen it grow quite a bit the last few years. Like I said, once you start to offer some different programs, we see our women's program growing all the time. We see our challenger program growing. An investment announced today is obviously it's on the radar for a lot of different areas that baseball is important, and so I don't know if I want to, set a number on that to really cap ourselves. I think the sky's the limit for us, and we're going to keep working hard to grow that number as high as we can.
Philippe Quentin.
Oui, M. Coderre, je veux juste bien comprendre les chiffres. Là. 31 millions plus 15 millions pour les stades?
C'est-à-dire que 32 millions, la façon dont ça se définit, c'est qu'on a mis 7 millions cette année en termes de terrain. Il y a 11 millions de dollars que j'avais annoncé sur la période de 3 ans et on rajoute un 15 millions pour 2 pôles régionaux, 2 pôles de baseball où on va avoir des terrains qui pourront recevoir des événements dans la vie internationale.
Ça serait comme pour quand? Y a-t-il comme un échéance? Comment?
Les 3 prochaines années.
Les 3 prochaines années, c'est où? Est-ce que c'est déjà...
On est en train de définir les endroits, on est en train de tout étudier ça, là, mais on envoyait comme message qu'on veut vraiment investir dans l'infrastructure également, et puis évidemment les aménagements. Il y a question de drainage de terrain, question d'éclairage et tout ça, là, donc on veut vraiment être top-notch, permettez-moi l'expression, en matière de baseball mineur, et puis pour aller plus loin par la suite.
Quand vous parlez de 2015, ça veut dire que c'est le budget qui finit en novembre?
2015, le 7 millions est déjà investi, on est dedans.
Puis 2016 commence le 1er
2016 est
décembre?
commencé, le 11 millions est déjà annoncé, donc on commence là. Il y a déjà des projets, il y a 5 ou 6 terrains qu'on refait, on en fait en 2017 également. plus les 2 pôles qu'on est là. Et il va y avoir un projet pilote de terrain synthétique, ça aussi c'est intéressant, c'est bien important.
Juste qu'on parle de terrain avec des gradins et tout, des
On y pense aussi, ça fait partie de ça. Et on pourra annoncer éventuellement un partenariat. Il y a des gens qui sont intéressés aussi à investir, donc on pourra regarder ça au niveau mineur. J'ai rencontré la Ligue de baseball mineur canadienne, on peut travailler aussi avec Baseball Canada. Je pense que l'important, vous savez, il y a 27 000 joueurs de baseball. Il y a eu une augmentation de 13% au niveau du baseball depuis notamment la recrudescence, puis la venue d'un Russell Martin et des Blue Jays ici. Donc, des leader models, on a des modèles qui font en sorte que là, maintenant, il y a une recrudescence. On est rendu à un niveau d'inscription presque au même niveau que lorsque les expos sont partis. Ça veut dire qu'on est en train de reprendre le poil de la bête, et puis on le fait étape par étape. Je pense que moi, mon rôle comme maire de Montréal, c'est de m'assurer qu'on puisse aider la relève, travailler même avec les institutions éventuellement pour les sports, programmes sport-études en matière de baseball. Ça va permettre justement d'avoir une politique de développement qui s'y rattache. Ça fait partie du plan d'action.
Mr. Coderre, you talked about sort of building up baseball in Montreal from the grassroots level, you know, the money to renovate the local ballparks, the Montreal Brewers now back. How high do you expect this to go? I mean, do you really think it's still realistic to eventually bring the Expos back to the city?
Oh, it is realistic, but it's a step-by-step approach. I mean, we have to connect the dots. We have to show our seriousness. 5 years ago, everybody would have laughed about talking about the return of the Expos. There are a lot of people here today. I think that something's happening. And it's not only for the Blue Jays, thanks for them, but it's for the love of the game. And that Montreal is back, and that's the most important. But it's a bottom-up issue. I've been saying that, hey, you don't negotiate publicly. You know how it works. Eventually there will be some decision, but we have to show our seriousness with our plan. But my role also is about for the legacy of the sport. It is important to show that our kids, sports is a tremendous development tool. I've been a former minister of sports myself, and I know the importance of every sport, and baseball is one of them, and it's part of our DNA. So I'm investing in soccer, I'm investing in swimming pools and hockey and football, but baseball was missing, and now we are focusing on that too. So that's a multi-sport approach, but it's important to send a strong message to all the stakeholders that we're for real. And the fans are here, just that we show that we love the game. So eventually, we are doing our homework, but I think it was important also to send that it's an inclusive process. That the kids were there at the beginning.
But it's very exciting over the next couple of days when 106,000 people are going to be here and a lot of public attention. But can that be sustained over 81 home games and over not just 1 year, 2 years, but 10 years to bring an MLB team here?
Yes. Field of Dreams is true. If you build it, they will come. You know, in the last years, I mean, the only player that I knew when the Expos left was Frank Robinson, who was the coach, because he played for Baltimore. And nobody was investing in sports. Now we're investing in baseball. It's about the love of sports. It's about investing. It's about provoking events. But it's not just an issue of major league. It's at every level. And Russell Martin, you know, became a player because he had the opportunity to play. So if we're not investing in that opportunity, we might not find out another Russell Martin. So our role is to have a bigger pool of players and share our mutual love for baseball. And eventually, well, there is a process, and we'll see what happens. But I think that we are taking it seriously.
Do you think that Olympic Stadium is fit to be the home to a major league club? And if not, then is the city going to be willing to get behind the building of a new ballpark if the club
is not serious enough on that? Of course, we will talk about infrastructure. But we have to show that we're serious about it. But there's a step-by-step approach. And eventually, when the time will come.
Financially?
It's for 32 years, so trust me, when the time will come, we'll have another press conference. But today's about Baseball Canada and the World Series.
Il y a beaucoup de non-dits, mais ça va bien.
Ça sent bien, ça va bien.
Il y a beaucoup de non-dits, mais vous parlez de connect les dots, est-ce qu'on peut déduire que ce que vous dénoncez aujourd'hui est en lien direct avec votre désir de ramener le baseball pour
Ça fait partie de ma stratégie. Il y a une réalité de baseball majeur. Ça, il y a des choses à faire, il y a des choses que tu contrôles, il y a des choses que tu ne contrôles pas, mais entre-temps, il faut qu'on entretienne la flamme. Il faut qu'on démontre notre amour du baseball. Moi, là, c'est beaucoup plus que juste le retour des expos. c'est de s'assurer qu'on puisse démontrer que cet outil de développement formidable forme une jeunesse, forme des citoyens, amène des passions et développe des joueurs qui peuvent arriver à devenir des joueurs de la Ligue de baseball majeure. Et ça, c'est tout aussi important que de dire je m'en vais juste chercher une équipe de baseball. Si j'allais juste pour une équipe, ça ne serait pas sérieux. Si je travaille pour un développement du sport, quand je parle avec Rob Manfred, la première chose qu'il parle, c'est de l'amour du baseball. C'est le leg que ça donne, l'héritage du baseball. On est la ville de Jackie Robinson, de Clemente, on est la ville de Gary Carter Hawk. Montréal était un modèle de développement extraordinaire et la plupart, beaucoup, et on espère que Tim Raines va en faire partie, arrive au temps de la renommée. Mais il y a un mot qui est important dans tout ce que je viens de vous dire, c'est le mot développement. Et aujourd'hui, cette stratégie-là, tant au niveau de Baseball Canada qu'au niveau de Montréal, on dit on veut faire partie aussi de ça et on embarque dans ce plan d'action qui parle de développement.
Mr. Mayor, when you say step by step, which step do you see first? Do you see a stadium, commitment to a stadium, or a team, commitment to a team?
The first step is about to show that it's a love for baseball. It's not just a concept, it's a bottom-up issue. We had to show that we were answering to the great proposition of the Blue Jays. And then at the same time, when we talk about, we need to talk more about the sport than just about bringing back the team. But clearly, we lost the team. We should never have lost the team. And, but now we have to redo our homework. Who would have said 5 years ago that people are taking us seriously now about even that capacity, even that eventuality? Tomorrow we will pay tribute to one of our greatest coaches, Jim Fanning. We will have Charles Bronfman, John McHale Jr. will be there. His dad was the president. There's a major symbolic attached to that. And we're just sending that. Of course, we have histories, we have tradition, but this is a place where baseball was a great place to be. And we are missing something. I will do what I have to do, but there's no pressure. We're not there to impose any pressure. We have to do what we need to do, but during that time as a mayor, I'm responsible of my field to do something about it, and that's where we want it. We understand what Mr. Manfred said about the necessity and what's the need.
Dernière question.
Oui, M. le Président, M. Guéraud, la métropole.com, lors de son passage à Washington, le Premier ministre Trudeau a dévoilé au grand jour son amour pour le baseball et pour les expos.
On est content.
J'imagine
c'est bon.
que vous allez donner à sa porte éventuellement.
Pas nécessairement. C'est parce que les gens, vous pensez que quand un gouvernement doit aider pour un retour éventuel, il faut nécessairement qu'il investisse dans une infrastructure. Ressources ne veut pas dire ça nécessairement. Alors, il ne faut pas partir en peur et dire, bon, combien d'argent vous allez le mettre? On n'a rien demandé. Mais il y a des façons de faire. Il y a des options à envisager. Je suis content de voir qu'on aime le baseball parce que c'est un sport qui est extraordinaire. Et puis, le Canada a une magnifique équipe de baseball. Je pense qu'on doit travailler en conséquence. Tant sur le plan du sport amateur que du sport professionnel. Il ne faut pas oublier non plus que le but, là, c'est peut-être aussi d'augmenter le sport de masse et le sport de participation. À partir de là, mon avis.
Merci beaucoup, Dickson, qui a cadeau pour vous, M. le maire. On behalf of Baseball Canada, we have a small gift for the mayor, and I'd like to thank him for hosting and sharing his passion for baseball with us.
John Bacabel. Thank you very much. Right. Sir. Thank you.
Raise your hand, please.
Let me apologize beforehand. I had a little touch of laryngitis, so this is about the best my voice has been in a couple of days.
Okay, questions over here on the left?
How does it feel to be back in Montreal?
Well, it feels great. So many great memories. We're staying downtown. I went for a jog this morning where I used to live and up the mountain. And just driving in from the airport to Dorval yesterday. Being there with a couple of legends like Pedro Martinez and Harry Hughes. It's great. It's a great feeling to be back in the ballpark and just walking in here.
not sure how you were involved in this all happening, but what was the process? How did it go about? I know I think there was an invitation also sent out to the Red Sox a couple of years back. How did it all work out?
Well, frankly, I had nothing to do with it because this game was already agreed upon by joining the organization. So it was, you're going to Montreal to do spring training. I said, great. We'll have fun over there.
Dave, just as far as part of the reason that we're all here is to try to promote baseball up here again where it used to be for a long time. Just your thoughts on baseball in Canada. Of course, there are the Blue Jays already.
Well, I'll speak more specifically about Montreal since I was here. Toronto speaks for itself, the success they had. I thought it was a great baseball city. I love Montreal. It's a big city in every regard. I love baseball, a lot of passionate baseball fans here. Also a lot of memories here. I think probably the story is, and this is beyond my decision, this is Major League Baseball decisions, but I would say the story is probably very similar to what it was years ago. Somehow there's a new baseball stadium in downtown Montreal. I think Major League Baseball would eventually come here because it's such a great city. But it's also playing at Olympic Stadium, which many years ago we were trying to move out of. It's great to come in here for a couple of days, probably day in and day out would be difficult to draw type of fans. Just a different atmosphere. Remember when I came here, we used to talk about the Parc Jury, how much they loved Parc Jury. Well, that was a little small 29. I used to go over there by the tennis courts at that time. People just loved that atmosphere. And so I could see where that type of atmosphere with a smaller stadium captured.
Do you believe that with the new economics in baseball, Montreal could sustain a team on a 81 games?
Well, again, that's difficult for me to answer because I'm not involved in those type of decisions. They did before. It takes quality ownership, somebody that's committed to make it happen. A committed community. I think you can have that. Yes.
Yeah, I've got two questions. The first one is, in today's economics, in today's offer for sports and entertainment, do you still feel like 162 games in the season is it the correct number of games to offer to the fans, or has it become to be a bit too much?
Well, 162 for a long time. I know there's been some discussions of 154. Again, that's beyond my pay scale at this point. Those are decisions made by the Commissioner's Office and the Players Association. But, there's some cities, when you look at it, we're drawing 3 million people now. It's quite regularly in a lot of cities. So there's the commitment from people to come out. Our revenues are an all-time high in the game. They continue to grow. Part of that has to do with still the passion for the game, coming out and watching us play. So I think so.
Yeah, my other one is, during your tenure as general manager with the Expos, you made the trade for Mark Heinstrom, and arguably it's one of the most spectacular trades there was in your history of the team, because we were used to see talent, big-time talent, leave the Expos rather than being brought in. The fact that it did not pan out like you would have hoped with Langton that year, do you feel like it might have been a key moment in the history of the team?
Well, I don't know. I think probably it would have been nice to win. I think any year we didn't win a championship, at that point it was close. Because the game has been here a long time. There were a lot of good teams. People were itching for a championship. We were so close and just wouldn't make it. I think probably 94 was a bigger time period for that, because in my opinion, I wasn't with the club at the time. The Expos had the best team in baseball. I think they would have had excellent chance in the World Championship. And if that happened, we would be in a position where who knows what it takes us. But I think in 89, when we made that trade for Winston, we were in a situation, Charles wanted to be Charles. We were looking to win a championship, and we were just going to sell the team. And we were willing to give up some young players in order to bring. We led most of the year, and then we just didn't hit down the stretch. So it was disappointing for all of us that we didn't win. We did have a real good ball club. I can't say that was a turning point. It was a turning point all the way. We didn't win the championship that
But Dave, just coming back to your years in Montreal, what do you remember, like, the most satisfying moment and personally maybe the most difficult moment when you were taking the executive?
Well, 5 years. And I really remember the good players that we had and the good organization. The outstanding kids. Just talking today, came in with a few people, and Terry Hughes was in the cabin with us. And I saw the stat today. Corey Needs, our historian, wrote this article. That in Gary Hughes' tenure as a scout director, over a 6-year period, 65 players that were drafted, signed, and developed by the Expos played the big leagues. 65. And that didn't include the year before with people like Larry Walker and Randy Johnson were still part of that group. Mark Carpenter. So it was just an amazing amount of talent and quality personnel in the organization. Tremendous ownership of Charles and John McHale Sr. So we've got really fond memories of the overall talent in the organization, the closeness of the people, and just the caliber of play that we had. Probably the toughest part was when we folded in '89. I said folded the loss. I thought we had the best team. We didn't prove to have the best team. I remember down the stretch we pitched great. And when we got to mid-August, we were 3 games in front. We went to Chicago on August 10th. They swept us there, the Cubs, and we just never got our bats going. It was really a tough time. And I know Jim Whelan, who was the manager of the Pirates, and was one of my best friends to this day, used to say, Dave, you guys should have won it. We read this time. We didn't.
Can you speak to Charles Brockman, what kind of warrior he was, and how good he was to you, that desire to bring back?
Well, Charles is, well, he's a legend. I mean, really here. I mean, that's the way to describe him. He's a legend. And he treated everybody first class. He wanted a first class organization. He treated everybody. Didn't matter what your job was. He treated you well. And he wanted everybody to be treated that way. And so we all had the desire to win a championship for him. Unfortunately, it didn't happen. But he was committed to Montreal beyond just baseball. He was a person that was very involved in the community, civic nature, and heart of gold. He was the type of person that everybody in the organization. Of course, you always want to win, but you wanted to win for Charlie. He was one of them. He'll be here tomorrow, I think, too.
I think it said to you at the beginning of spring training that Pablo Sandoval had Bruce Day to be on the bench on opening day. How surprised have you have been, and what do you think has happened to kind of lead to where we are now?
Well, I would have been surprised. But I always thought we had Travis Shaw, and he was a good player. And he couldn't find his way into the lineup, and he really couldn't speak for that. But I think a lot has to do with perhaps Travis and Johnson so well. In Castillo's case, we didn't get you into the start. But always had some questions about the offensive play. This doesn't mean he can't bounce back and still do well, and sometimes do that. But we did protect ourselves from Chris Young. That was important for us. So between Chris and having the maneuverability of Bob Colton, so I'd have been surprised, but I wouldn't have been like a big shot at it.
Dave, did you meet with Rick Bowman today?
I got a phone call and I didn't know he was it. He's here, I'll be happy to meet him, but he hasn't reached out to me.
Can you just explain what the input and conversation was like with John when John was making this decision, and how that conversation went, what your feelings were, I guess, at the time?
Well, I think it's important. This is just my own philosophy. You work with your manager, and you never do. My final responsibility sometimes I don't think, because it was new to John, that he really believed it in the beginning. But I really, that was that's your responsibility. You play who you think is the best. When we talk about it, we talk about the staff and all that. But when that lineup was made, I never sit down the lineup to measure play. We give them all the statistical analysis that they want and look through all of that. But when it comes to making that decision, they're the ones who are responsible. And I think it's important that the people, the players in the clubhouse, and that's the manager's job and responsibility. So what he thinks that gives us the best chance to win, then get him a score.
Dave, how would you evaluate what you've seen out of Christian so far this point?
Well, we can't but help him. He's one of the premier closers in the game. He's strong with all the great. I think he'll be ready when the season goes. And so I feel that he's on board. So there's a chance for us to show.
You talked about Bruce May needing to develop offensively. Was there any thought to maybe sending him down to AAA to play every day and work on that side of the game?
Well, when we see this, we discuss everything in meetings all the time. But right now, I think the best thing for him is to come up and part of it up here. And hopefully he'll step up. I think we can't say what the future will bring. But right now, we think he's the best chance the way they shape up for him to be at the big club. He's going to have to take advantage of the opportunities when it's in there.
Yeah, David Ortiz about to start the last season of his career. How would you describe the impact he's had on the game? And has he taken the position of DH as far as you can?
Well, David Ortiz, in recent years, is one of the best players in the baseball. Not only known from the player perspective, he's got the type of personality that's charismatic. He rises to the occasion. He broke my heart in 2013, which I told him. And so he just has that magnetic personality. The game will miss him, but I hope that he'll go out and find fashion this year. I think he will be. And so I look forward to him doing that. He's got a way about him to rise to the occasion. He's a special player, and he's about as fine a DH as there's ever been. I can't say he'll be the best ever because who knows what comes along in the future. But to this time, he's as good as ever.
Tim on the right. Just in the last talk about John's job security. Have you talked to him at all about just trying to relieve some of that external pressure about needing to get off to a good start, that kind of thing?
We all know we have to do this job constantly. We win all the time. We want to get off to a good start. But I think that comes from a lot of external. It's a situation. And I can't tell you I've never discussed that.
James Pablo expressed that he was satisfaction with
all of his comments, I think, in the paper.
Question for Dave? Yeah, Dave. Is that having Pablo on the bench handicap your bench wall?
What did they swing? I don't think so. I mean, Travis's versatility. There's going to be times Travis plays on the bench, play first, could go on the side.
Okay, this is going back to 1990 days. How hard was it for Tim when you sitting best player, one of the best players in 1980?
Well, at that time, Tim Raines was a great player, Hall of Fame. Sometimes players play in the market, and if you recollect at that time, it was probably the right time to trade him. I mean, in the sense that he wasn't playing quite as well here as he had early in his career. And I think that, it's a tough league. Baseball's tough. People look at you then, and he wasn't at the top of his game right then, like he was a few years before. So I think it was the right time to move at that point. So it's always hard to trade things, right? But I
question. Dave, just to coming back to what you were saying where were you living exactly? And what did you like about Montreal when you were there? Places that you like and everything.
Well, the places that I like would be too numerous to list. Because as you know, the dining is tremendous. I used to spend a lot of time going over to the old forum in the wintertime, seeing hockey games with kids with tickets. So whenever I could get them, I would go. I lived at 3550 Delamontagne, right at it's a three-story had a condo there, right at the bottom of the mountain, so it was easy for me to hop on that path and run there. It was a great city. Now, I will say that I spent a lot of time here at Ballpark because I spent a lot of hours and I also traveled a lot on my job. So I didn't have like 365 nights a year to go out on the town. But I just enjoyed it. Just a great place. People were friendly, very nice to me. We had a good organization, enjoyed being with them. So it was.
Were you living here almost year-round?
Yes, I did. I did live here.
Okay.
Yeah, for 5 years.
5 years, and you were living 300 days a year or whatever?
Yeah, except when it brought me away from my job. And I took French.
You did?
Oh, oui.
Yeah.
Je parle français.
Okay.
Un petit. Je m'ouvrier du français.
C'est bon.
Much better than it is now.
You still enjoy hockey a lot?
I love hockey. I still watch hockey, sure. But there was, I was just telling the people on the way here, I remember those games. Remember the Quebec Nordiques when they played the Canadians? I was at some of those games. I thought, oh my goodness, with the Stastny brothers. Unbelievable. There was passion in those games.
Tim Ring told us after a game he was waiting to go to the dressing room after a Montreal-Boston playoff game. And he said, these guys are crazy. I wouldn't go in their game with their salary they're getting because they were, baseball players were getting a lot more money than hockey players at the time.
Yeah.
So he said, these guys are crazy. Well, for such little money.
They were on the ice at that time. And I will also say that, the Canadians had great teams. They were just coming up. They won the Stanley Cup my first year here in the year, and it was just a tremendous time. It's a time years of hockey.
Knowing there's Boston cameras here, you didn't become a Canadians fan, did you?
Well, you know what?
Careful now.
I'll take the fifth on that. But I think, you know what it is? I grew up in Chicago. So I grew up with Chicago Blackhawks. With Bobby Hull and Stan McKee and all that good thing. We used to go to the games, not regularly, but once or twice a year. And then when I think what happens is when you become part of the community, you become a fan of the sports teams there. So I came here and I rooted for the Canadians. I went to Florida and I rooted for the Panthers. And I rooted for the Red Wings. And I'll root for the. You always have that special part of your heart where you grow up from, that you were still part of that. You root for them. And I remember, it still was like that, but I remember with the Red Wings, for example, I was good friends with their general manager. We were still good friends. So when they played the Blackhawks, it was really, I rooted for him. Jimmy Devillon, so you root for your friends. But I will be careful to never say it was a Canadian game when I lived in Boston. I'm wiser than that.
Did you celebrate the Blackhawks when they finally won?
Sure. And I know they're John McDonough, who used to be doing baseball, the president. I know Scotty Bowman throughout the years. So you have to know a lot of people in making sports. For sure.
Okay, thank you, everyone. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you. Good friends.
That was Dave Dombrowski, the president of the Boston Red Sox, and formerly here in the front office in Montreal. We've come out onto the field for batting practice, and the Red Sox are going through their batting practice right now. They have announced the starting lineup for today's game. Of course, none of this game will be able to be recorded by Hometown Cable. The broadcaster has exclusive rights. We used to be able to come up here and get some footage. Big Papi is here. David Ortiz is one of the ones that Dombrowski talked about. Because it's even though it's I'm thinking I spent too many years here in Montreal. I guess I'm thinking this is a National League park, but Toronto is an American League team, and they will be using the designated hitter. Your fans cheering for Kung Fu Panda. That, of course, is Pablo Sandoval. And you may have heard, I know the audio was a little low, but you may have heard that today's starting third baseman, Travis Shaw, has been announced as the third baseman for the Red Sox to start the season. So the Kung Fu Panda will not be a starter to start the season, but we all know that it's a long season and a lot of things happen during the course of the year. But Ortiz will be batting cleanup tonight. Hanley Ramirez will be batting fifth. Xander Bogaerts will be batting third, but Dustin Pedroia second. Mookie Betts is the leading off. Travis Shaw will be batting sixth. Chris Young is batting seventh. He's in left field. Blake Swihart. He's the catcher, batting eighth, and center fielder Jackie Bradley Jr. will be the starting center fielder, batting ninth. Stephen Wright will be the pitcher for the Blue Jays, just to have it on record. Kevin Pillar, center fielder, will lead off. Josh Donaldson, Jose Bautista, well-known ball player, Troy Tulowitzki, Chris Colabello, Michael Saunders, Russell Martin, a Montreal boy. We were hoping to get here for his press conference. He had a press conference during the time period when we were stuck at the border, so he was recognized here last year by the Blue Jays. In fact, on the Saturday game, we were going down the elevator, and his father was coming down to the field, and we saw on the TV screen that his father came onto the field and took him out of the game. So it was a way to honor Russell Martin last year. Justin Smoke will be the first baseman, batting eighth. Ryan Goins is the second baseman, batting ninth. J.A. Happ is the starting pitcher for the Blue Jays. So we'll let them take batting practice. We'll be around for the pre-game ceremonies, which will probably, if you're watching this on the internet, part of a different piece of coverage. And depending on when you're watching this on the cable TV, it might also be a part of a different programming day. The pre-game ceremony is supposed to be honoring Pedro Martinez and Tim Raines, and the game starts at 7:05, and both of those guys are supposed to be up in the press box later on to meet with the reporters. So we'll try to be there to cover that also. But starting to fill up here, a sellout crowd. Both days are sold out, as we mentioned earlier. Doors, it's 5:15 right now. Doors open to the public at 5 o'clock. So they're filling in here fast. It's a lot of excitement in Montreal for 2 days. 57 degrees. Excuse me, it's 57 degrees for most of my trip here, and the only detriment was a 70-minute wait at the border. And talked to Ken Drake from Channel 5, and he said they had a 90-minute wait, so we didn't feel so bad. Actually, still feel bad, but that's no excuse for that. I think the people at the border would know that there'll be a lot of traffic heading north today. It's the big game going on here, and a lot of snowbirds are heading back north as just part of their normal routine. So we're backed up at the Champlain border crossing, St. Bernard de la Colle, and I learned one important thing: if there's multiple lanes open, never get in the left lane, because then you're trapped. Get in the far right lane if you can, so that way if other lanes open up, you got a shot at and moving into a faster moving lane. So that'll wrap up this portion. Hometown Cable at the Big O. Preseason baseball here on viewer-supported local television, Hometown Cable, and there are expos here everywhere.